In 2005, Radical Entertainment released Inredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction, a game that did its best to separate itself from the dog shit of a movie, The Hulk, directed by Ang Lee, with Eric Bana starring as Bruce Banner. Radical Entertainment, previous to Inredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction, had already developed a track record for making fun, interesting games like Simpsons Hit and Run,
I'm endorsing a new cola, kids!
and even Jackie Chan Stuntmaster.
Oh, maybe live! Mama! Uh-oh.
I remember when the Spider-Man movie, the game, came out in 2002 and completely changed the landscape of licensed video games based on superhero characters. If you want to play one of the best superhero games of all time, you gotta check out Aquaman Battle for Atlantis. The game will transform your life. Inredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction is a third-person action-adventure game in which the player controls the Hulk, the superpowered alter ego of scientist Bruce Banner, which in this game looks nothing like Eric Bana, Edward Norton, or Mark Ruffalo. Leonard Sampson, who is Bruce's psychotherapist who uses hypnotic suggestions. As the Hulk, you're tasked with gathering sources for a machine that looks like an Oculus Rift that will cure Banner of the infliction that causes his transformations into the Hulk.
It's far from completion, but it's a start. With your expertise added, we can get into your neural generators and figure out what triggers the beast.
Not with this kind of processing power. I mean, Len, how are we going to equip it?
Already thought of that. Here, put this on.
What is it?
Think of it as a video game.
The game has you start off in the desert destroying the military to then proceed to the city where it's open world and you can throw around cops like they owe you money. The game has various side missions ranging from throwing cars on top of buildings to time trials and of course the main mission quests that continue the story. We were able to get most of the abilities fairly quickly, but I imagine as you progress through the game there is only more and more abilities. But the targeting system as well as the camera can be annoying to control at times. The game was fairly fun, and while I'm not a big fan of random side missions, I do appreciate that they made them unique to the game of Hulk and unique to the character of Hulk. Throughout the game, you will also uncover comic book covers which have images of the original Hulk comic books. The more you collect and more you destroy, you get more abilities and you get more points. You'll need certain abilities to continue the main mission, but as I stated, you can get most of them fairly quickly. The main missions weren't anything overly complicated, and controlling where you land after jumping was more difficult than the main missions themselves. The fact that the Inredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction is an open world is fairly impressive, and honestly, even in 2023, it's still worth playing. My score for the Inredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction is a 3.75 out of 5, and definitely worth continuing. Now I'm going to pass it off to Rocky to let him give you his thoughts on the game.
Hulk Ultimate Destruction is a game that released on several different platforms back in the day, and I played when I was a kid. However, it's been a long time since picking it up, and honestly, I didn't know what to expect. However, going into it, all I can say is this game is just kind of fun. It's nothing crazy, it's nothing over the top. However, it's all just fast-paced Hulk action. It's very strange to me that they allow you to just like kill people and do some pretty fucked up shit, but it's kind of funny to just run around, grab cops or civilians, and then throw them off of tall buildings. And that's all this game is really focused on, just nothing but destruction. Almost all of the environments and buildings are destructible to some degree. You can climb everything in the city and you can jump to different locations, and each of these different locations have different missions or side missions that you can continue through to either work on the story or just have some fun with side missions. Now, I will admit most of the side missions are kind of basic and bland, such as like running an obstacle course or like taking cars to the tops of buildings, but generally speaking, it gives you something to do in this otherwise pretty fun game. Generally for the story, it is again kind of basic. However, we do get a fun like set of missions where we have to go and unlock different like moves and attacks in order to continue on said missions and try to help Hulk reach his goal. We played the GameCube edition, and overall it kind of reminded me too of the old Spider-Man game where you can go ahead and swing around the city and do various things as Spider-Man. The fact that it's open roam is definitely fun because it allows you to just fuck around, which again with the destructible environments is what this game really feels like it's made for. However, I will admit that after a bit, the novelty of it and the overall fun factor does start to decrease as the missions are pretty repetitive. Generally speaking, everything is, hey, just go destroy this or pick this up and don't destroy it, or like find these amounts of points so you can get this specific attack, and it kind of doesn't differentiate itself in any other way throughout the other missions of the story. The most fun aspects are the various different attacks that you can have, such as like atomic slams that create a sound wave that harm people, or you can pick up cars and turn them into iron fists, which I absolutely loved back in the day because it's just so much fun to pick up a car, smash it in half, and use them as goddamn boxing gloves. Now, I will admit one of the weirder parts is the lock-on system. The lock-on system feels like a really rudimentary lock-on system from way back in the day and doesn't really work all that well, especially if they are farther away. You do have to pretty much charge up all of your throws in order to hit a lot of the helicopters, and then on top of that, you can't really jump high enough a lot of the times to really hit the helicopter yourself without like holding down the punch button, so that way you can get some extra hang time. The other thing I'd say is that the jumping can be kind of annoying. It's definitely fun when you're trying to just get around the map as quickly as possible. However, when you're trying to get to the top of a specific building or into a specific area, it definitely feels a little weird when you're like jumping past it or maybe running up the wall too fast and then jumping off. It seems like it's hard to control, and honestly it makes it so that using the like climbing with your hands to be like one of the easier ways to travel up to specific locations in buildings. A lot of the buildings are not like open, you can't get inside of them. However, there are some open buildings around the city that you can kind of bust into and tear down and whatnot, and I definitely enjoyed that as well. And I think that like having these jump markers scattered throughout and having that be part of the game is finding these different jump markers is definitely interesting enough and keeps the gameplay moving. Also, I like that you don't have to go fucking all the way across the map every single time, and that there are a good amount of scattered jump points throughout the map of the city. And actually, I also forgot to mention the actual goal of Hulk here. So basically, Banner has been living kind of isolated on his own, trying to find a cure for this affliction that turns him into the Hulk, and so it's your job to go gather data and various other things, so that way you can try to continue your research for a cure, as you don't want to hurt anybody, but you are just murdering every single military member that comes your way in the meantime. Overall, for a first impression, this game I feel like is pretty good. I think that if I play it even longer, it could get a little boring a little quickly. I think overall I'll give it a 2.75 out of 4 stars. Okay, now back on over to Jason.
Thank you so much, Rocky. We want to hear from you. Have you played the Inredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction? Maybe you have a great childhood memory of playing it, or do you remember the Ang Lee movie at all? Did you like it? Maybe you have a different opinion. Maybe you actually enjoyed that movie. Let us know in the comments down below. Also down below, you'll find the description where all me and my brother Rocky's all other socials are, as well as a link to our main channel, Smokin Sessions, where we do movie reviews like Renfield, watch-alongs like Vampire's Kiss, and discuss all things cinema. So if you enjoy gaming sessions, you'll definitely enjoy Smokin Sessions. Also, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on videos like this from us in the future. Thank you so much for watching and or listening to this video, and we will see you all in the next gaming session.